जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जना रंजना आनंदानंदन व्रज जना रंजना यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा। Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki, Sripad Ramanujacharya Virbhav Tithi Maha Mahotsav ki. Yo nityam achyuta padambuja yugma rugma vyamohatastvati tarani trinaya mene asmat guror bhagavatosya dayaika sindho Ramanujasya charanau sharanam prapadye Ramanujasya charanau sharanam prapadye Om ajnanatimirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha Sri Chaitanya manobhishtam stapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Uttapadagamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangcha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataridam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Desha Tarine Hare Krishna Ateva Brahma Sutrar Bhashya Shri Bhagavad Bhagavad Shloka Upanishad Koe Kamat. So we welcome everyone to this very special class on Sripad Ramanujacharya's life and teachings. We often discuss teachings as well as the life, but Sripad Ramanujacharya is an Acharya, so his life itself is a teaching often. So normally on Disappearance Day, we discuss more about the teachings. Today is the auspicious appearance of Sripad Ramanujacharya, so we will try to discuss a little bit of the pastimes from Sripad Ramanujacharya's life. And yes, there will definitely be some teachings, some tattva vichar will be there. So in Madhya Leela, 25th chapter, 100th verse, this is mentioned that Srimad Bhagavatam is the commentary on Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutra. So whatever is explained in the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from what is being explained in the Upanishads. So Upanishads generally give an impression of non-dualism or impersonalism. However, it is mentioned that yo harescheva jivena yo bhedavakta hare priyaha. Those people who describe Hari and the Jiva as separate, they explain the difference between the two. They are dear to Krishna. they're dear to Hari. So these glorious acharyas of the Vaishnava Parampara, one of the four paramparas that we know is the Sri Sampradaya. In that, the prominent acharya is Sripad Ramanujacharya. It is not like Sripad Ramanujacharya established Sri Vaishnavism. Originally, Mother Lakshmi herself, she was the source. And from there, Sripad, Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada very clearly explains the whole lineage, the whole parampara of the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. It starts with the Supreme Lord Himself. The Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj uses the Tamil word itself and then also the Sanskrit word. The Supreme Lord is called Emberumanar, the Emberuman, which is the original, as we say, Thakur. We say Thakur, so Peruman is the word used in Tamil, ancient Tamil. And Sripad Ramanujacharya was called Emberumanar, which means he who belongs to the Supreme Lord. He was also called Yatiraja. Yatiraja, the foremost among the sannyasis. Like in Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's life also, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj had written Prabhupada's Tavam. In that he writes, Yatiraja Ganair Parisevya Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhupada Padam. So Yatiraja Ganai, they are worshipping the great Acharya. Similarly, Sripad Ramanujacharya also, he had 74 prominent sannyasi disciples and total 700. And then innumerable brahmacharis, brahmacharinis even. Please, we are talking about 1000 AD, remember. Those days to have brahmacharinis is a social reform. He initiated Shudras, so-called Shudras. People used to consider them as Shudras those days. He initiated so-called Vaishyas, so-called Kshatriyas, so-called Brahmanas, everyone he initiated them in the holy name. And because he spoke purely about the Supreme Lord, it is natural that he is dear to the Supreme Lord. Rama Anuja is naturally Lakshmana. So they say that the same Shesha in the primeval time appeared as Lakshmana, Baladeva, and then as Ramanuja. This is what Sri Vaishnava literature says. Truth spoken concisely is eloquent, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, Sripad Ramanujacharya lived for 120 years. There is a cycle in the Tamil calendar, it's called the Pingala. Every year has a name. So the Pingala year he appeared in 1017. So 4 years back we celebrated the Sahasrabdi of Sripad Ramanujacharya. Even Iskcon devotees celebrated it very, very gloriously. And he passed away or left the material realm to attain Paravasudeva or Paramapadam as they say. In Sri, like we say, Golok Dham, we call it Paramapadam. In the year 1137. So he lived for they say that as per scripture, a full life for a human being is 120 years in Kali Yuga, and he lived that full life. And still he knew that there was very less time. So he presented everything about absolute truth in a very, very, very short span of time. So, Ramanuja haite ani lai dvishar ananya bhakati bhakta jana sevaar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, borrowed, or let us just say what borrowed, it is his own. He took two elements from each sampradaya. So what are those? Ananya bhakati bhakta jana seva are two things. One is ananya bhakti. Ananya bhakti is devotion that is devoid of karma and jnana. Jnana karmadi anavrita. That is one thing he took from Sri Vaishnavism, pure devotion. Or what Prabhupada often describes as unalloyed devotional service. Because everything is an alloy, mixed, karma and jnana, so it's unalloyed. And the second one is what bhakta jana seva. Just like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say Dasosmi, when everyone would offer obeisances, he would say Dasosmi, I'm servant. The Sri Vaishnavas have a whole concept. They also write Dasan, because in Tamil that's the way they say Dasan. Adiyen Dasan, I am servant. In fact, generation after generation, they all call themselves Ramanujadasas. It's Adi and Ramanujadasan. That's how they introduce each other, if you're initiated. So, this principle of Bhakta Jana Seva, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took from the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Acharyas, our Gaudiya Acharyas say that the Prema Bhakti is ceiling, so to say. Prema Bhakti is ceiling, which is the topmost of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. It is resting on the Dasya Bhakti foundation of Srimad Ramanujacharya. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentioned that Srimad Ramanujacharya had Nityananda Avesh. Naturally, because Nityananda is Adi Guru, Lakshmana is Adi Guru. So this is very clear. Now, Srimad Ramanujacharya's whole Siddhanta was originally, let's just say, introduced or presented to the world in their own, through their own behavior by the Alvars. Alvars means those who are immersed in devotion. So, or absorbed in devotion. Srila Prabhupada told Jayananda Prabhu long back, he said, if your consciousness is absorbed in Krishna, you're always a sannyasi. That's what it means. If your consciousness is absorbed in Krishna, you're always a sannyasi. So these Alvars, they were all immersed, always immersed in bhakti. And they were all not ordinary people. One person was the mace of Vishnu, another person was the sword of Vishnu, another person was the conch of Vishnu, another person is the garland of Vishnu, another person is Bhudevi herself, who came as Godavari or Andal is what they call. Then we have Kulashekar Alvar also. Srila Prabhupada translated his Mukundamala Stotra into Sanskrit. Most of it he translated, and then his disciples completed. So there is, and Srimad Ramanujacharya is quoted right from the introduction to Bhagavad Gita by Srila Prabhupada. He says that as per Srimad Ramanujacharya, Sanatana Dharma means that which has no beginning and no end. So several times, in fact, Srila Prabhupada once mentioned that they asked him, what will you write now once you completed Bhagavatam? He said, maybe I will write Bhagavad Gita. They said, Prabhupada, you already written Bhagavad Gita. He said, there are so many commentaries I could base it on, like Srimad Ramanujacharya, he said. So Srila Prabhupada was really inspired by the teachings of Srimad Ramanujacharya, because Vishishtadvaita has several elements that are very, very close to Achintya Bheda Bheda, Bheda Abheda. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was staying in Venkata Bhatt's house during Chaturmasya, during his travels to South India, he was hardly 24 years, a few years more. After he took sannyas, he traveled to South India. So when he stayed in Venkata Bhatt's family ashram, Grahastha ashram, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started feeling separation for Jagannatha in Puri. So what did he do? He carved some beautiful deities of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. They look so different. They are not our typical Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra deities. Anybody seen them? Person, huh? Very good. Wonderful. So they are very beautiful deities, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has established the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Srirangam as well. So Mahaprabhu visited Srirangam, so therefore that makes it auspicious for us. Although it is like, for us it is Mayapur, for the Sridur as the son of Asuri Keshavacharya Somaya Jalu and Kantimati. His cousin Govinda appeared as the son of Deeptimati, who was a sister of Kantimati. And they were both daughters of great Acharya. I think it's Nathamuni. So then, the earliest Srimad Ramanujacharya took lot of attraction to Kanchipurna, who was theoretically a Vaishya. Some says he was a Shudra. It's all, we must understand that all this is external. By birth, all of us are Shudras. Janmano Jayate Shudra. But we are talking about 1,000 years back. But amazing thing was this particular Acharya, Varada Raja used to speak directly to him. Not bad. I don't care which family I'm born. If the Lord speaks with me, that's fine. So he used to do Vyajana Seva to the Lord. He used to fan. And those fans were required. There was no AC. So it was a very valuable service. And Varada Raja used to speak with him directly. So then Srimad Ramanujacharya wanted to obtain initiation from Kanchipurna. He said, no, I you are a very advanced person, I am not so qualified. So I will check with you, just for the time being you do service, he said. So that is a Bhakta Jana Seva, it starts. You follow a Vaishnava. He told you do Jalak Kainkaryam. Jalak Kainkaryam is fetching water for Varadaraja. And it is not like simply like our cleaning devotees, Paranand Prabhu and Shamcharan Prabhu, and it's not like you keep a bucket in the tap and open it. The well in Kanchipuram is like nearly a kilometer away from the altar. You have to go there, dip and then carry it, and you need lots of it for Abhisheka. So they were using tubes those days because plastic wasn't so much in vogue. So, or synthetic rubber. So Ramanuja did that service, and therefore it is natural that the Supreme Lord reciprocated. We'll just discuss that. After the death of his father, he was married to somebody called Rakshakambal. Beautifully, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentions each of the names in Sanskrit and Tamil. In Tamil, she is called Tanjamma. In Sanskritam, she is called Rakshakambal. So Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj mentions these names. And so he got married. She was a supposedly very beautiful lady, but she had her own kidas, as they say. You know. She had jati buddhi. She would discriminate between people and all that. So once after Kanchipurna he came for alms. He came to beg. Ramanuja was not at home. So she fed him prasadam. That much she did. After that, she disposed of the remnants to the servant. So Ramanuja was really hurt. That's the great Vaishnava. He didn't accept. So she was capable of doing these things. Later on, she did even more insults to Mahapurna, who was the initiating guru of Sripad Ramanujacharya. Mahapurna initiated Ramanujacharya, and later on Goshti Purna gave him the secret mantras. So coming back to this point, Rakshakambal was with him, and he went and studied under Yadava Prakasha, who was an Advaita scholar. Advaita also like concocted Advaitism, not the actual Advaita. A lot of spelling mistake. So once he was interpreting a verse from the Chandogya Upanishad. So it was like Tasya Yatha Kapyasam Pundarikam Evam Akshini. This was the shloka. So Sripad Shankaracharya interprets it, or his followers interpret it as Kapyasam is interpreted as a posterior of a monkey. Kapi is asam. Kapi is back. Kapi is a monkey. So when Sripad Ramanujacharya was hearing this, he was massaging the back, the shoulder of Yadava Prakasha. And some tears fell on him. Cold tears means somebody is happy. Hot tears means somebody is sad. Acharya say. So these tears fell on him, and Yadava Prakash asked, "What's up?" So he said, "This interpretation doesn't seem to be in consonance with the scripture." So immediately Yadava Prakash asked, "So, if you are so intelligent, please explain." So he said, "Kam pibati." It means he who drinks the water, that is the sun. Asam means that which blossoms. So that which is blossomed by the one who drinks the water, that is a lotus. That lotus, the Supreme Lord's eyes are compared to a lotus. Tasya yatha kapyasam pundarikam evam akshini. Kapyasam means that which is blossomed by the sun, which is that lotus. His eyes are like that. That is why he is Pundarika Aksha. So this was fine. So tolerated by Yadava Prakasha, he just swallowed it. He didn't say anything. Or other interpretations. He didn't really want to externally show any opposition. Later on, he raised another point. There is a sloka in the Taittiriya Upanishad. It goes like Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. So the Brahman, the absolute truth, is Satyam, Jnanam and Anantam. Is truth, knowledge or cognizance and eternity. So Yadava Prakasha said, Brahman, somebody asked, what is Brahman? He said, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So Ramanuja said, no. Satyam Jnanam Anantam are attributes of the Brahman. They are not Brahman per se. They are qualities of the Brahman. So in one sense, if Brahman and his qualities are different, that means it is not all just one. It is not Advaita. There is Dvaita. Or there is Vishishta Advaita, the qualities. So he didn't explain that, but then naturally, when Ramanuja exhibited these signs of scholarliness, plus his behavior was humble, very, very humble, and Vidya Dadadi Vinayam, they say. So he had that demeanor, and so everyone got attracted to him. So the popularity started increasing. Jai Shri Radha Parthasarthi Lalita Vishakha ki, Jai Shri Gauranita ki, Jai Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai. So Yadava Prakasha felt envious. So they went on a yatra to Varanasi. And as they were going, there was a conspiracy between some of the students of Yadava Prakasha and he himself. They say that they should, as I say, knock off Ramanuja. So this news was conveyed to Ramanuja by his cousin Govinda. The same Govinda, we said, was born of the sister of his mother, Kantimati, Deeptimati, their sons. So Govinda told him, and so Ramanuja fled in the evening, in the middle of the night, in the dusk of the night, in the dark of the night. And as he was going, he was feeling very, very, very thirsty. But at the same time, he saw that there was one fowler. A fowler is one who catches birds. What is it called in Hindi? Bahelia, something. He and his wife were going back. They looked very tired. So the lady said, please get me some water. So Ramanuja, it is said, there are 2-3 versions. One version is that there was some kind of a pond there. Another place said there was an abandoned well. So Ramanuja went inside and fetched water for her on a, some say palm, some say palm leaf, both ways. Leaves. He got water 3 times. And so they said, we will rest for the night. They rested for the night, and when Ramanuja woke up, he could hear the bells of Kanchipuram. Who were those 2 people? They were Lakshmi Narayana. The Supreme Lord himself came. But since we are Iskcon devotees and we worship Radha Krishna, we won't even say Hare Bol. So Lakshmi Narayana personally helped Ramanuja. They directed him. Now, how did Ramanuja get service directly to Mother Lakshmi, who is the original Acharya? Any guesses? I said earlier, we will describe this later. Because he performed Jala Kainkaryam, he performed service to the Lord by carrying water every day. He got an opportunity to serve water directly to Mother Lakshmi. So that is the way, through service we can get more service to the Supreme Lord, to the deities. And then Ramanujacharya came, and after some time, Rakshakambal started becoming more and more difficult, as they say. Rakshakambal almost became Bhakshakambal. So then what happened was, Sripad Ramanujacharya, after that, he left for Srirangam, because Mahapurna, who was a disciple of Sripad Yamunacharya, the foremost Acharya of the Sri Vaishnavas, came to get him, because Sripad Yamunacharya was able to leave his body. As they say, mortal coil, that's what they say in Vaishnava tradition. They would live. And so he had already seen that Ramanuja is that Acharya who has already been extolled as Bhavishyad Acharya. In fact, Sripad Ramanujacharya in history is the only person whose Vigraha appeared even before his appearance. Nearly 300-400 years before his appearance, from one of the ponds, his Vigraha appeared. Nammalvar, I think, was telling his disciple Madhura Kavi, who was feeling separation, and he said that I want your Vigraha. He said, now you perform some yajna, perform some whatever. He told him a few practices. You go and boil the water of this particular water. Some says Tamraparni, not sure which is the river. So he boiled the waters of the river, and one nice Vigraha appeared with sannyasi sitting in a seated posture with a sannyas rod. And that is Bhavishyad Acharya, Sripad Ramanujacharya, who was already forecast by the previous Acharyas. Like Mahaprabhu went into Padma and said, Narotam, 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 like that. You will find many similarities between Sri Vaishnavism and Gaudiya Vaishnavism that way. And later on also, There are three forms of Sripad Ramanujacharya: Tanuganda Tirumeni, Tamaruganda Tirumeni, and Tanana Tirumeni. These are specific names, like we have Sambandha, Abhidaya, Prayojana, like that. What we must understand is Tamil is probably the language that is oldest after Sanskritam. So this is very, very ancient language. It was originally evolved by Agastya Muni. So there will be many things that may even sound like Sanskrit, but they are not Sanskrit. So what are these three forms? Once Sripad Ramanujacharya was sitting, instructing his disciples in Srirangam, and all of a sudden he went stiff. So they asked him, what happened? He said, when I said he went stiff, he's looking at his neighbor. So why did he go? He said, in Sri Perumbudur where I appeared, he didn't say appeared, he said where I was born. The devotees there wanted my vigraha to be installed. So they made a vigraha, and they were about to perform Netron Milanam, meaning the eye open ceremony for the first time. So because they were doing that, I went there. This is bewildering. Then the devotees of Sriman Narayanapuram or Melkote, some of you have visited that place. Yeah. So Melkote is a very great place. There are some wonderful deities of the Lord. So there again, Sripad Ramanujacharya breathed life into the deity form that some say he himself carved, some say they manifested for him, and he breathed life into it and did prana pratishtha himself. So Tanuganda and Tamaruganda, meaning what he made himself and what others made. The third one, which is the topmost, which is Tanana Tirumeni, which is Ramanujacharya's body himself in his physical form. After his samadhi, it continues to be in Srirangam in that same form. There are some modern day scholars say, no, this is not true. But like we have Abhisheka, in Sri Vaishnava tradition they call it Tirumanjanam. Abhisheka is called that. Sacred water is being offered. But for that particular deity form of Sripad Ramanujacharya, which is his own divine form, they don't even need to, they don't wash it in that sense. They apply camphor, not tulsi, and some other specific ingredients they apply to clean or keep it purified. Where is our connection? Iskcon Delhi. Any guesses? What is the connection between Sripad Ramanujacharya and Iskcon Delhi? Yes. Yes, very good. So Kantimati and Asuri Keshavacharya, they pray to Parthasarthi. There's a place called Tiruvellikeni. It's one of the Divya Deshams. The Sri Vaishnavas have 108 Divya Deshams, of which 106 are in our realm. 107 is in Shvetadipa, that is Shirasagara, and 108 is Paramapadam, Vaikuntha. So Tiruvellikeni is one of the auspicious places. And so there, even now, the Lord is there, Parthasarthi. Interestingly, only once a year they remove his mustache. Rest of the year, he's got a mustache. Maybe in South India. So he's a very special deity, wonderful deity. I remember going there and, the Pujari asked me, because he thought Iskcon devotees must be from other countries also. He said, where are you from? So I also answered in English, so I got some respect. Moved around, they gave me darshan and all that. So they prayed to Parthasarthi, and Parthasarthi, the Lord, appeared in their dream and said that I myself will come as your son. So Lakshmana is Vishnu Tattva, he himself, and he appeared as Ramanuja. So then after this whole incident, Mahapurna, like I said, he invited him to Srirangam. He went to Srirangam, and as he was about to reach there, Sripad Yamunacharya left his body. So when he was lying down, his mortal coil had 3 fingers. Some say open, some say closed. But 3 fingers which were to be noted. So what were they? The disciples, senior disciples said there are 3 wishes. What are those 3 wishes? First one was to write the Brahma Sutra Bhashya as per Bodhayana Vritti. This is the first wish. The second wish, and as this was said they say Yamunacharya's one finger opened up. So then we assume that it was closed. So this second wish was that Vyasa and Parashara, they should be glorified. Which means there must be acharyas in future tradition. They should be named after them and they should take forward the Sri Vaishnava Acharya Sampradaya. And the third wish was that the teachings of the Alvars, especially there are various songs of the Alvars collection, they call Divya Prabandham and several other 4,000 Nalayra Padi, they call several things they have, 6,000 collection of songs, 4,000 songs, several of them by these great acharyas. And so to preach Sri Vaishnavism across the world as per the teachings of these acharyas and to write a commentary on these teachings of the acharyas, and then that also opened up. Later on, Sripad Ramanujacharya achieved these things through his disciples. His disciples assisted him in this. So we have some 15 minutes. I want to focus now on Sripad Ramanujacharya's disciples. First, Sripad Ramanujacharya himself accepted Diksha and Nyasam, they call it, from Sripad Mahapurna, who is a Grahastha, disciple of Yamunacharya. Then he took secret mantras and their meaning from Goshti Purna. Goshti Purna means he is from the place Tirugoshtiyur. This is the place where the demigods got together to discuss how do we deal with Hiranyakashipu. That's a place, that's called Tirugoshtiyur. So in that place, he is from that place, he is Acharya from there, Goshti Purna. Sripad Ramanujacharya went to him some 17 times, they say, for getting these mantras. And every time he would give some excuse, just like Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj was refused by Gaurkishore Das Babadev Maharaj. And just like Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj took sannyas in front of Gaurkishore Das Babadev Maharaj form, Sripad Ramanujacharya also accepted like that. And the Supreme Lord himself gave him the name Yatiraja, they say. So, it is amazing the kind of reasons Goshti Purna told. Like the 7th or 8th reason is Sri Vaishnavam Kai Kodiya Pinvar, meaning please become a Sri Vaishnavam and then come. He is telling Ramanujacharya. You see the kind of advanced acharyas they had. So every time he would go and come back, go and come back, go and come back. The 17th time, it was understood that one of the priests of Srirangam tried to poison him. Now there are two incidents. Once he mixed poison in the food and once he mixed poison in Charanamrita. The first time his wife, who was a very old lady, prepared the bhiksha plate, so to say, for Ramanuja, and she was crying. And she said, my dear son, you please don't take this is poisoned. And you know what Ramanuja did? Some acharyas say that he fasted for the whole day in order to remove the poison from the heart of the pujari. No. So when this came to light, Goshti Purna's heart melted. And he came all the way, he ran to Goshti Purna, covering hot, piping hot sand, just like Sanatana Goswami would run across those sands, hot sands. There's so much similarity between the two sampradayas. And he kept lying on the ground and Goshti Purna wouldn't look at him. Still. So then one of the disciples of Ramanuja, his name is Kidambi Achan. He said, you are worse than that pujari who poisoned Ramanuja. At least he was inimical. So then some acharyas say, this is not there in all versions, but some acharyas say this, that Goshti Purna's heart was melted, saying, if he has such a disciple, then the sampradaya will go on further. So to whom I can give the mantras? Some people say, this is one version. And then he was given the secret mantras. So there are again multiple versions on this, that Sripad Ramanujacharya got on to the top of the tower and gave out the mantra to everyone. But there are other versions, Vaishnava scholars, who say that there were already initiated disciples of his. He had a gathering of all of them and he gave them the secret meaning. To the others, he simply told that please chant the Ashtakshari. This will give you liberation from birth and death. This, like he said. But just a sample, we discussed this earlier in classes also. Nara is human, Nara is community of human beings. Narayana is the shelter of the community of human beings. Namaha is also like Namama, is not mine. Everything belongs to Narayana. I am a nobody. I have no body, therefore I am nobody. In one sense. So they give 3 mantras. He himself got a mantra from Mahapurna. There is a Prathama which is Om Namo Narayanaya. Yudvayam is Sriman Narayana Charanam Sharanam Prapadye. Srimate Narayanaya. And then the third one is yours and mine favorite shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Sarvadharman paritejya mamegam sharanam raja aham tvam sarvavapebhyo moksheshvami mashucha. So these are the charamam mantras. These 3 mantras are given. Apart from this, the secret meaning of this Ashtakshari and further things were to be given. So Goshtipurna gave this and Ramanuja came out and openly declared this, saying that even if I have to go to hell, I will do it. And when Goshtipurna came to know of this, later on his heart melted. Initially he was upset. But then he understood that this purpose was this. So then he was fine. And later on, Ramanuja gave the meaning of these 2 mantras, this mantra, to 2 of his prominent disciples, Dasarathi and Kuresha. They are called the water pot and sacred thread of him. That's what they say, of Ramanuja's. Other versions say that they are the partial Shaktaveshas of Lord Rama and Lord Bharata. Sri Vaishnavas have a whole, we have, what is that, Gaudiya, Gauda Ganodesha Deepika, they also have Lord Hari Ganodesha Deepika. So, they were there, and then these disciples were the ones who helped take forward Sri Vaishnavism. Kuresha was a Grahastha, and suddenly one day, the Supreme Lord Ranganatha and his consort Ranganayaki were giving darshan to everyone, and they heard a noise. So Mother Lakshmi asked, what is this noise? Screeching noise. They said, this is the door of Kuresha being closed because he doesn't eat anything until he offers food to every single person who comes to his house. He was the lord of a village, like a zamindar. Kura is the name of the place, and he was Kuresha. He was the lord of that place. So Mother Lakshmi said, this is amazing. He's just so magnanimous. I would like to see him. So obviously news went, and he said, I'm not qualified to see Mother Lakshmi because I am still in body consciousness. I cannot see Mother Lakshmi. So you know what he did? He said, you please tell Mother Lakshmi that I will come later. I have some things to work out. You know what he did? He he gave off everything he had. Every last penny he gifted and donated in charity. Then he and his wife, her name is also I think Andal, they left the house. And when they were going through a jungle, this is quite similar to Sanatan Goswami and Ishan Thakur. So his wife said, can we go through this forest? It is so scary. He said, are you carrying something valuable? She said, no, I wanted to ensure that you got prasadam later. So I kept a golden bowl with me. He said, throw it away. He took it and threw it away. He said, now you will face no fear. Please remember, he was a Grahastha. And both of them then went to Srirangam, took shelter of Ramanuja, and they became such great disciples. And this is the same Kuresha who went with Sripad Ramanujacharya to Kashmir, to Sharada Pida, to get Bodhayana Vritti of Brahma Sutra so that he could write a commentary on it. So Mother Saraswati herself gave it to them. Initially those people said, no, we don't have it. So Mother Saraswati herself gave it to them, and Acharya said, and then they left. On the way, these people caught up with them and took back the Bodhayana Vritti. But Kuresha said, Acharya, don't worry. Nearly 1 month we have been traveling. I have already memorized the whole Bodhayana Vritti. No problem. So now I will help you write the commentary. So that's how Kuresha, it's a photographic memory. So he assisted Sripad Ramanujacharya in fulfilling these words, the first wish. And also, once Andal, Kuresha's wife, she was hearing this Nevedyam or Bhoga offering happening to the Lord. And there is a certain Nevedyam which she thought, it'll be nice if I could gift it to my husband. So sure enough, suddenly a Brahmana appeared and gifted her that. So her husband took, she also took, and after that they had twins, Parashara and Parangusha. And Parashara Bhatta became the foremost Acharya after Sripad Ramanujacharya. He was also Grihastha Guru, but he became the foremost Acharya. So this way the second wish was also fulfilled. And another disciple of his, he also wrote the commentary on the Alvars. So this way all the three wishes of Ramanujacharya's Guru was fulfilled by his disciples. Now Kuresha, his surrender was so much that when he wanted to know these Rahasya mantras, Sripad Ramanujacharya said, either you should be maintaining brahmacharya all your life, or for 1 month you should not take any solid food. So obviously he was Grihastha, he was already a Grihastha, so he could not have been a brahmachari, Naishtika brahmachari. So he fasted for 1 month fully. And he also went begging from house to house. He is a Grihastha, remember. Then Sripad Ramanujacharya gave him the meaning of Sarvadharman Paritejya and the Rahasya mantras, everything. And he also provided shelter for both of them so that they don't have to go begging. He was maintained, he was like the first full-time devotee of Sri Vaishnava, full-time Grihastha of Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, so to say. Parthsarathi, the other devotee, he also wanted to know the meaning, but he was a little puffed up, he was like a little bit of a scholar. So, Sripad Ramanujacharya sent him to the house, as they call Sasural, what we call in Hindi, of the daughter of his Guru, Mahapurna's daughter, Atulai. So they wanted somebody to help. So he went there as a menial cook and rendered all kind of menial services, fetching water, etc. Once somebody was giving a Bhagavatam class and he gave some weird interpretation. So this cook started correcting him. Here again we see examples of how, people like Ramachandra Kaviraj and others, how they disguised themselves as Panwalas and they debated in Sanskrit. It's something like that. So he was like a cook and he immediately defeated him. So they said, you go and make food, don't try to do Shastra with me. So then he started getting more and more embarrassed when he heard this wonderful interpretation. So he said, who are you, sir? So he said, I'm Dasarathi, I'm servant of Sripad Ramanujacharya. And then everybody regretted, even Atulai's in-laws, they regretted, they went to Ramanujacharya and said, we beg forgiveness. We also beg forgiveness for insulting your Guru's daughter. So everything was settled. So Dasarathi was also given the mantras. So these two are two great disciples of Sripad Ramanujacharya. Now the third one, and his personal servant was Govinda, who was not his own Diksha disciple, but a Shiksha disciple. He was a Diksha disciple of one of his Shiksha gurus, Shailapurna. He was a Shaivite initially. Then Shailapurna went and corrected his heart and he became a Vaishnava. And once Sripad Ramanujacharya went to learn, I think, Ramayana from Srila Shailapurna. He was not to be an expert in Ramayana. So that's a connection with these days Ramayana series. And he said, he was so impressed with Ramanuja that instead of taking Guru Dakshina, he said, please ask what gift I can give you. So he said, please give me Govinda as a servant. So Govinda went to him, but he was feeling separation from his Guru. So Ramanuja sent him back. So Shailapurna's wife said, Govinda has come, our Govinda has come. So he said, a cow, when it is sold once, there is no point in giving it water again if it comes back to you. So Govinda heard, he overheard, he understood, and he went back to Ramanuja and started serving him. So much so that he was so surrendered that every day he would first rest on Ramanuja's bed. So the disciples got angry. They went to Ramanuja and complained, how dare Govinda sleep on your bed? So Govinda said, when Ramanuja asked him, he said, Govinda said, Sripad, I want to give you the best service in everything. You should get the best bed. Till I lie down and check whether it is okay, I cannot give it to you. And once the disciples, they went to Govinda and said, You are so glorious, you have such great qualities. So Govinda said, yes, that's true. So, what do you mean? You are so proud, puffed up. So they went and told Ramanuja. So Ramanuja asked Govinda, what's up? So Govinda said, Sripad, I have no qualifications. Whatever I have is your mercy. When they're glorifying you, they're glorifying your mercy. So I have no problem. And there is Varadacharya, whose wife Lakshmi was willing to offer her body to a grocer in return for ingredients to cook for her guru. Such disciples Ramanuja had. Amazing disciples. One of his disciples, Sri Ananta Alva, he was willing to go to Tirupati. Those days Tirupati, we didn't have like train and flight. Nowadays Tirupati is an airport also. So those days there was forest. People had to just go. And on the way a snake bit him. And he just carried on. Amazing. He wasn't rattled. Because he had to go establish a flower garden for Venkatesha. As per the instruction of his guru. So they asked him, what happened? A snake bit you? Nothing? No problem? He said, well, if I had died, I would have gone back to Godhead. Because I am serving my spiritual master and Venkatesha. If I have not died, it only means that my body is stronger than this, so that I can continue my service to my Guru Maharaj. So there's no problem. So these extraordinary people they had. And so Sripad Ramanujacharya initially, because he became so popular, the king of that area, Chola king, Kulotunga Chola, he was also called Krimikantha, like a worm in the throat. So he called Ramanuja to court. So Ramanuja didn't go. Instead of him, he was sent away to Karnataka, Melkote, Srimad Narayanapuram, he went later. And his disciple Kuresha, the same Kuresha, and his Guru Mahapurna, they both went disguised as sannyasis. And so first Kulotunga asked him, please say Shiva is greater. So he said, yeah, Shiva is great, but Drona is even greater. Drona and Shiva are both measurements. They are units like kilogram or pound. So Shiva is great, Drona is even greater. So he got so angry, he gouged out the eyes of these two people. Mahapurna was an old man, so when they took away his eyes, he passed away. And Kuresha, he somehow carried on. And there are versions which say that he prayed to Ranganatha that because my Guru Maharaj wants me to have eyes, because he is praying, if you want, you please give me eyes. So Ranganatha gave him back eyes, they say. So after 120 years, Sripad Ramanujacharya put his head on the lap of Andrapurna, one of his disciples, on the lap of Govinda, his lotus feet on the lap of Andrapurna, and he left his mortal coil and went back to Vaikuntha. This Andrapurna, to conclude, we keep saying, Ime Paduka, Iskcon Samstapakacharya we offer, Om Iskcon Samstapakacharya. These mantras are not specific to Brahmanas, anybody can offer. So, we say that. So, this Andrapurna was keeping the sandals of Ramanuja in the altar. So, Ramanuja asked, what nonsense is this? In the altar you are keeping my sandals. He said, for you, he is God. For me, you are God. So, this is the Sampradaya, glorious Sampradaya of Sri Sampradaya. And Sripad Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as well as Srila Prabhupada have glorified it. Our Acharyas have also taken many elements from this. We still visit, if you go to any of these places, Divya Deshams, you will find Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, many places. Mangalagiri, Yadavagiri, Rangara, many places you have. The last pastime is connection to Delhi. The Sultan of Delhi at that point of time had stolen the deity which was being worshipped. So they were all worried. So Sripad Ramanujacharya came to Delhi. It was being worshipped by a princess called Bibi Lachmar. So the moment Ramanuja went to the deity, he showed his hand, said in Tamil he said, Selva Pillaya Varum, meaning in English, Sampat Kumar, please come. In Sanskrit it's Sampat Kumar. Sampat Kumar, please come. And the deities leaped onto his hand like children. So he took them and he established them. So they are still being worshipped. Some say they worshipped in Srimad Narayanapuram also. Some say it's in another part of the Divya Deshams. So I'm not very clear about that. That has to be checked. But in any case, the conclusion is that Sripad Ramanujacharya is a glorious Acharya. We have to Pray to him today that we also lose the impersonalism in our heart. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarane. Srimad Ramanujacharya Appearance Day Mahamahotsav ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. So can have, I don't know if you have time for comments or questions. I leave it to all of you to decide. Speak something.
हरे कृष्णा, धन्यवाद। तो रामानुजाचार्य के जीवन में जो दो विशेषताएं हैं, वो तो शरणागति की है और दूसरी है वैष्णव सेवा। तो ये दो इनके संप्रदाय में जो विशेषताएं हैं, वो चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने अपने संप्रदाय में ये जो है शामिल की हैं। तो एक तो शरणागति है, तो शरणागति में इनका बहुत गहरा भाव है। भगवान के प्रति जो जीव जो है किस प्रकार से अपनी जो आंतरिक भावनाएं हैं वो प्रकट करता है और अपने दोषों को बताता है, अपने दोषों को स्वयं अपने मुख से बताना। तो वो जो शरणागति का भाव है, ये रामानुजाचार्य के मंत्रों में मिलता है। उन्होंने जो मंत्र शरणागति के जो मंत्र दिए हैं उसमें बहुत गहरा भाव है ना। और दूसरी है वैष्णवों की सेवा। तो दो जो गुण हैं ये चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने लिए हैं। और चैतन्य महाप्रभु स्वयं भगवान हैं, लेकिन तो भी वो जो है मतलब गुण लेते हैं, तो भगवान भी गुण लेते हैं, है ना। तो चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने जो गुण लिए रामानुजाचार्य से, तो चैतन्य महाप्रभु भी जब जगन्नाथपुरी में थे तो जितने भी भक्त आते थे जगन्नाथपुरी में, तो चैतन्य महाप्रभु स्वयं अपनी जो है देखभाल अपनी ओर से उन वैष्णवों की देखभाल करते थे कि उनको सही तरीके से रहने की व्यवस्था मिली है या नहीं मिली है। तो ये चैतन्य महाप्रभु के तो अपने स्वयं के गुण हैं, तो मतलब आदि पुरुष हैं, लेकिन तो भी वो जो है दिखाते हैं कि रामानुजाचार्य से या उनके संप्रदाय से उन्होंने ये गुण दिया कि वैष्णवों की जो है कैसे देखभाल की जाए, सेवा की जाए। तो ये सब जो है गुण हैं, ये हमारे मंदिर में भी इस प्रकार भक्तों को प्राप्त हो रहे हैं। और कुछ भक्त लोग ऐसे समर्पित हैं जो कि बीमारों की देखभाल करते हैं। तो ये जो है डिवोटी केयर एक अलग से जो है विभाग बन गया है ना, डिवोटी केयर। तो ये जो है रामानुजाचार्य के संप्रदाय से जो है चैतन्य महाप्रभु में आया, और चैतन्य महाप्रभु के बाद जो है ये हमें जो है ये जो है मतलब प्राप्त हुआ है। तो आज के दिन जो है हमें विशेष रूप से ये जो है विचार करना चाहिए और इस पर जो है मनन करना चाहिए, चिंतन करना चाहिए कि कैसे वैष्णवों के साथ जो है हमारा व्यवहार हो और उनके साथ संबंध अच्छे बनाए जाएं। और दूसरी शरणागति, शरणागति का मतलब अपने दोष स्वयं भगवान को बताना। तो भक्ति जो है तभी आपकी सुरक्षित रहेगी, तभी सुरक्षित रहेगी जब आप भगवान के सामने अपने जो है दोषों को महसूस करें कि आपके अंदर कितने दोष हैं। तो भगवान को दीनता प्रिय है और अभिमान से द्वेष है। ईश्वर से अभिमान द्वेषत्वात् दैन्य प्रियत्वाच्च। तो ईश्वर को जो है अभिमान से द्वेष है और दीनता से जो है दीनता प्रिय है। तो रामानुजाचार्य से ये भी जो है जो गुण है ये चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने लिया, इसलिए वो भी जो है मतलब बहुत दीन होते थे और बहुत जो है अपने लिए शोक करते थे कि मैं नहीं प्राप्त कर सका, कृष्ण को नहीं प्राप्त कर सका। तो इस प्रकार के जो गुण हैं दीनता और वैष्णव सेवा, दीनता शरणागति और वैष्णव सेवा, ये दो गुण हैं, इन पर हमें चिंतन करना चाहिए। हरे कृष्ण।
We can take one question. Prabhu's Mataji, somebody. I'm just ignoring. Oh.
प्रभु जी, आपने जो बताया था कि आंडाल एक अलवर का नाम है, बट आंडाल दो हैं क्या?
एक ही है। अलवर का नाम आंडाल इज लेडी. She is counted among the 12 alvars. She is Godavari herself.
The disciple of Ramanujacharya is Andal.
No, that is his name. Like you are Narada Priya. There are hundreds of Narada Priyas. It's named after, like I'm Rishi Kumara. There are millions of rishis. Like that, named after. She's named after that. She's not the same Andal. It's a normal disciple. Just wanted to conclude with one pastime. There is a great Acharya who came after Ramanuja. His name is Vedanta Desika. So he wrote a compilation called Paduka Shatakam. Can you imagine what is this Paduka Shatakam about? This Paduka Shatakam is 100 verses about the sandals which adorn the lotus feet of Sri Ramachandra. Because Bharata was worshipping at Nandigram with these sandals. The whole kingdom and the entire planet was being administered from there. But was there any problem those days? Did any Shudra perform austerities? Did any Dhobi leave his wife? No, nothing happened. So Vedanta Desika says, the sandals of Lord Ramachandra are even more glorious than Lord Ramachandra himself because the kingdom was so beautifully handled. So that is Ramarajya. So, Sri Ramanavami Mahamotsav ki jai, Sri Ramanujacharya ki jai.